Hi and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. This time I got something a bit different in the way of a haul for you. And I actually recorded some of the footage while I was getting the haul down at my local market. Now if you take a look at that, it was a windy day and it was Laverton Market, which is located in an old disused drive-in movie place. Now it costs you $2 to get in there, so all that's cool. And there's everything there. You can get everything from a kitchen sink to balut. And if you don't know what balut is, you can always Wikipedia that. There's the old buildings where the projection booth and the concession stands were when it was a drive-in. Now, I usually go for breakfast at this place, and it was a windy day. And so the menu was blowing around like crazy, and I always get the pho, which is $14. And there it is. It's great. I love this really beautiful stuff. You can see the wind blowing the pho around and the broth inside the pho. The lady didn't want me recording what they were doing, so I panned the camera around there a bit. And there's the weather. It was pretty crap weather, a bit cold, a bit windy, and a bit mean looking. But there are lots of other places to eat as well. There's a Thai food place there, which I really like. There's also an African place, which I'm going to have to try one day because I've had African food a couple of times and I liked it. So then I went into the shed where all the good stuff happens. They have about 300 places that sell rugs for some reason. And so I walked down past the rug gallery and in the shed, around past people who are selling all sorts of weird things like toys, and then I hit the place that has all the movies. Now, that one looks interesting. Walter Matthau in a gangster movie. But I went around and took a look at it. The shelves got better. That pink thing there is actually a silicone bra, which they had on the shelf for some reason. I looked around, saw a whole bunch of movies. Then I went over to where the Blu-rays were. And the Blu-rays are what interested me. I didn't only get Blu-rays, but they have some interesting stuff. And they put in some really good shelves now, which is a nice break and a nice change from what we had before. And so I went through Silence of the Lambs was there, which is pretty cool. So I thought I'd pick that up, even if I've already got it, which I don't think I do. Then there's Angels and Demons, the Tom Hanks movie, which is a sequel to the Da Vinci Code. And then I found a version of Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore and Trial by Jury, which I didn't have, and occasionally like a bit of Gilbert and Sullivan, so I took a look at that. Tons and tons of things from like 15-20 years ago. Don't like Grease, but I like the movie near it, Clint Walker and Yuma, so I took a look at that. A lot of other weird and wonderful things, and sometimes you find Australian things that haven't had releases in other countries. So I was on the prowl for that, and I eventually found some. As I said, lots of Blu-rays there, which is really something that's starting to hit the second-hand market really well. I, Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart, which was filmed in Australia. So tons of things. Jennifer's Body, which a lot of people like for the eye candy, but is a fairly good horror movie, so I thought I'd get that. And then of course David Fincher's Seven was there. Lots of weird and wonderful and unusual things that I thought I'd check out. And Ghost Rider was also made here in Melbourne, so thought I'd pick that one up because I didn't have it. I didn't go through all the shelves as carefully as I could. You want to leave some meat on the bone for next time around. But found a few interesting older things. That's a Magna Pacific release, which means it may not be great quality. And just you kind of get overwhelmed after a while looking through these things and wondering whether you want to get them or not. The interesting thing about this place in the market is everything's $1. So all the movies, Blu-ray, DVD, or box sets are only $1. And the nice guy pointed out to me that, well, the lady pointed out to me that that's where all the new stuff that comes in is. So I looked down through that shelf and I found something interesting. I'll talk about that more when I show you the haul, because that was a bit of a find and I'm quite pleased with that. So I went back out to the market and trolled around a bit, but it was kind of getting cold and a little bit wet. The rain was kicking in, so I thought I'd just wander down. If you ever want a high-vis vest, this is the market, by the way, where somebody once tried to sell me a gun. and now they only have Cabbage Patch Kids. But it's still an interesting place. I know Middle-Aged Geek Girl doesn't like it, my nephew doesn't like it, but I like it a lot. And then I went down to Savers, which is a big thrift store a few kilometres away. They've still got some VHS there, but I don't have a VHS player. I'm not particularly interested in that kind of format. And they have a few computer games and Wii games and cassettes, which are making a big comeback these days. Cassettes are becoming really, really big these days. They even had a couple of 78s, and I don't have a 78 player anymore. So I went around looking through the DVDs and Blu-rays. I only found one thing, which I'll talk about in a moment. But they occasionally have things. They do have Andre Rieu. My bane of my existence is Andre Rieu DVDs. But they do have a bunch of other stuff. Some of which is interesting, some of which isn't. But occasionally I'll get some nice little hauls there. And I've just seen something on there that I should have got, but I didn't. Because that's the nature of looking for these things. They also have PS4 games occasionally, which is kind of cool. So that was what I got at the market. And that's what the market looks like when I go there and buy things. And it's a nice thing on the weekends for me. I can get a bit of exercise. I can get a really nice bowl of authentic Vietnamese pho and just kind of groove on the second-hand aesthetic of it. It's a bit post-apocalyptic. There's a little bit of everything being sold there. But I really like that market in spite of the fact that nobody I know does. The funny thing is that I found out only this week that drive-in, there's another drive-in from a rival theatre company, was only a couple of kilometres away from that on the other side of the highway. So there were two conflicting drive-in movies in the 1970s. That was the Village one at Blaverton Market, and there was one down at Altona just across the tracks and down a little bit, which was actually owned by Hoyts. So I kind of missed the days where there were tons and tons of drive-in movies. But I like the synchronicity of buying movies at a location that used to show movies. So what was my haul? I'll tell you the thing I got from Savers first. I'll get that out of the way, the Savers thing. And that was a TV series which could be considered racist now. From the 1950s, The Adventures of Fu Manchu. I think it's in public domain now, but there are 3 episodes on this disc. I got it for $3, which, yes, it's more than I paid for at the market, but I'm kind of interested in this as well, just to see what it's like. And for $3, I'm going to give that one a punt. Next thing I got at the market at the store. And remember, everything I'm going to tell you about now was $1. Fantastic bargains. This is the Magna Pacific edition of King Kong, the original King Kong. I don't at this stage have a copy of this. So until I can find a better one, this is a copy that I'm going to go with. It's not going to be a perfect view, and I'm fairly sure that the original they transcribed from is not going to be the best. But at least I've got a copy of it. And so I picked that up. Again, $1. I did get Clint Walker in Yuma, which also stars Edgar Buchanan and Barry Sullivan. This one's a full screen presentation, which makes me believe it may have been a TV movie. Could be wrong, but it was $1. It's actually region free, which is a bit unusual for these ones. There we go, bringing the law to a lawless land. Kind of retro western. Clint Walker wasn't the best at this kind of thing. He wasn't the best actor really, but he had a certain presence, and it's kind of interesting to just find a copy of that for the Western collection, which is growing. I did get Ghost Rider. I'll probably have to get the second one where he pees fire, but this one I picked up. It's a bit of fun. It's all region too, by the way. I just noticed that. It's got the all region code down the bottom there, which is kind of cool. But yeah, Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze. Marvel before Marvel was big, before Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. But yeah, I thought I'd get that one for the collection. As I said, I got the ABC DVD of Opera Australia's HMS Pinafore and Trial by Jury. A little bit of Gilbert and Sullivan. When I feel like that, I'll put it on and enjoy it. So that was kind of cool to find, because it's not the sort of thing you're going to find anywhere else. Silence of the Lambs, you've got to have a copy of that. This has got a ton of extras on it. It's a fairly old Blu-ray. It's Region B, but it's in good nick. I think it may have been an early Blu-ray, because it's still got DTS written on it, which is the old reproduction company. But yeah, may well rewatch that and just enjoy it. It's got a bit of sticky tape underneath. So yeah, got to have that. Jonathan Demme at his best. Angels and Demons I picked up for $1. I tried to watch the Da Vinci Code and it's so slow that I couldn't, but this one's a little more interesting. So I picked up that one. I Frankenstein I picked up. It's not the best movie in the world. Some of the CG is incredibly ropey. But I'm in the mood for doing a video at some stage about lesser known iterations of famous monsters, and I may well put that one in there. It's one of those ones that remember when they used to put the locks on the edge of the DVDs, and if they didn't unlock it for you when you bought it, you had to go back there or smash the case to get it out. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about region coding on it, but I want to rewatch that and maybe chuck it into a video. Karyn Kusama's Jennifer's Body. Definitely want to see that one. Interesting film. Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried, directed by Karyn Kusama. Gonna give that one a go. I haven't watched it for a very long time, but I will watch it. And then of course Seven, David Fincher's Seven, which I have a DVD but I don't have a Blu-ray of, and so I'm upgrading for $1 on that one. Still in good shape, so you know they really take care of these ones and get rid of the crap in that little stall, in that shed, at that market. Definitely happy with that one. The other thing I got at Savers was PS4 game. Cost me $5. PS4 games, because PS5 is the current PlayStation iteration. A lot of PS4 games are going dead cheap second hand, and so I can pick up a few things from my PS4, which will let me go pew pew when I'm in the mood for it. The other thing I got is this series based on Shane Maloney's novels about a guy called Murray Whelan, who's a kind of fixer for a state politician in Victoria. And there were two movies. First one was called Stiff, and the second one was called Brush Off. The Brush Off was directed by Sam Neill. Yeah, Jurassic Park Sam Neill. Second one was directed by John Clark. And it stars David Wenham, Mick Molloy and Sam Neill as a politician. But yeah, these ones are really good. They're kind of mystery things, and they're set here in Melbourne. They're very grounded in local politics here, but they're funny, they're witty. David Wenham is really great as Murray Whelan, but these you can't find anymore. Nobody's re-releasing them on physical media, so I picked this up, which has the two movies and a whole disc of extras on DVD. As I said, you can't find them anymore, and so I'm quite glad I've got that. Australian crime, kind of political comedy drama from about 10-15 years ago. Who put it out? Southern Star. But yeah, that one is the gem for me because it's a rarity and it's something which is entertaining as well. So that's the haul I got. I'm really happy with it. All up, I think I paid $10 at the DVD place at the market because they gave me a little bit of a discount because I'd bought things there before. So all of that stuff, all of those Blu-rays, everything $10. It cost me less than my bowl of pho. So I'm really happy with that. The market's much bigger. A lot of stores weren't there this time around because the weather was dodgy, and they always watch the weather before they go out and set up their stalls on weekends. But the weather's improving. The weather's going to get better, and I really like that place. It lets me go around, get a bit of cardio, walking all the way around the market a few times, and then coming back again. So that's it for this time around. It's a bit of a haul. I thought I'd show you what the market itself looks like, because I did get a little bit of feedback during my last live stream that people want to see more out and about videos related to movies, and I'm very happy to oblige with that stuff. So thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the notification bell. You can become a channel member and donate that way. You can also become a patron at patreon.com/TerryTalksMovies. Next up, we've got Science Fiction Saturday, and I'm preempting science fiction because it's Halloween time. And I'm going to do a couple of modern horror films, which aren't too much blood and guts, but are really interesting. So I've got that for Saturday, and I'm also going to do another horror double feature, which has got a bit of a historical context for my Sunday/Monday video, depending on whether you're on the slow part of the planet or not. So until next time, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. Find yourself a place where you can get good movies cheaply, and you're going to be happy for the whole week. And I'll catch you next time.